Do you ever find yourself searching for the right word and coming up empty? Or feel your hand go a little numb while reading a book, only to have it pass in a minute or two? It might seem like nothing, just a senior moment. Or maybe your posture. But what if I told you, these moments could be your body whispering a warning? You're not alone. Every single year, millions of older adults suffer from a stroke, and for many, there were signs days or even weeks in advance. Signs that were so subtle, so easy to overlook, that they were brushed aside as just getting older. But here's the hard truth: 80% of strokes are preventable. And in many cases, the body tries to send you a message before the damage is done. The problem isn't that seniors ignore the signs. It's that we haven't been taught what those signs look like when they're not dramatic. No slurred speech, no collapsed limbs, no dramatic movie scene moment, just quiet, hidden symptoms. That could be the difference between life and disability. But there's good news. Today we're going to talk through 5 of the most commonly overlooked stroke symptoms, the kind that sneak by unnoticed, even by experienced doctors and caregivers. This isn't about fear. It's about being ready. Because when you know what to watch for, you can act fast, and maybe even save a life. So grab a pen, take a deep breath, and stay with me. These next few minutes could be the most important health conversation you've had this year. Let's begin. What is a stroke and why you must care? Let's start with a simple question. What exactly is a stroke? Most people imagine it as something sudden, violent, obvious. And yes, many strokes are. But the truth is more complicated, and far more important for seniors like you to understand. A stroke happens when the blood supply to your brain is interrupted, either by a clot blocking a vessel, ischemic stroke, or a vessel that bursts and bleeds into the brain, hemorrhagic stroke. Your brain needs oxygen every second. If blood can't get there, brain cells begin to die, and depending on where that happens, it can affect your ability to speak, move, think, or even survive. Now here's the part most people don't know. Not all strokes feel like a stroke. Some are silent, they cause small amounts of damage but don't trigger any pain. Some affect vision, some cause dizziness, some come and go in just minutes. These are called TIAs, transient ischemic attacks, or mini-strokes, and they're often a warning sign that a much bigger stroke is coming soon. Doctors call, set them warning shots, and yet they're often ignored. Why? Because they don't feel dramatic, they feel like forgetfulness, fatigue, a little numbness, things you might already blame on age. But here's the truth. Stroke is the leading cause of disability in seniors, and the 5th leading cause of death. More than 700,000 Americans experience a stroke every year, and over half of them are over the age of 65. But here's the good news. When a stroke is caught early, within minutes to a few hours, the damage can be minimized, sometimes even reversed. That's why this video matters. Because if even one person watching today learns to spot the signs in time, it could change everything. So now, let's begin with the first hidden stroke sign, one that's often brushed off as just a bad day. Hidden stroke sign number 1, sudden fatigue or brain fog. Let's talk about a feeling you probably know well, that foggy, slow, drained sensation, like you're moving through molasses. Now we all get tired. But here's the question. Have you ever felt sudden exhaustion for no clear reason, like your brain just can't keep up? Meet Mr. Thorne, 68, retired postal worker, loved puzzles, quick wit. One afternoon he sat down to do his crossword, and for the first time in 30 years, he couldn't find the words. He told his wife, "My brain feels sleepy." She thought he was just tired. That night he had a minor stroke. Doctors told him that the brain fog he felt was the first sign. His brain wasn't getting enough oxygen because a tiny clot had lodged in a narrow vessel. Here's why this matters. Your brain needs a steady supply of oxygen to think, reason, and function. If blood flow is reduced, even slightly, the first thing to go is clarity, followed by coordination, followed by consciousness. So if you feel sudden confusion, difficulty, focusing trouble completing simple tasks, or overwhelming fatigue that doesn't match your activity level, don't assume it's just age. Don't take a nap and hope it passes. Call your doctor. It could be your body's way of saying, something's wrong in your brain right now. Here's how to protect yourself. Keep a stroke journal. Write down unusual symptoms, especially if they come and go. Share changes in thinking or attention with loved ones. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, speak up. Because when it comes to stroke, silence is not strength, it's a risk. Now, let's move on to the second hidden sign, and this one might make you rethink that stumble in the kitchen last week. Hidden stroke sign number 2, loss of balance or coordination. You're walking to the kitchen, nothing in your hands, nothing on the floor, and suddenly you wobble, or your foot scrapes the ground unexpectedly. You catch yourself, maybe laugh it off. But what if that moment wasn't just clumsiness? What if it was your brain sending up a flare? Loss of balance, or feeling unsteady, is one of the earliest signs of a small stroke, especially if the cerebellum is affected. That's the part of your brain that controls coordination and movement. When blood flow there is interrupted even briefly, it can feel like dizziness, trouble walking straight, a feeling like the ground is tilting, or sudden weakness in your legs. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Joan, 75. She was carrying laundry and stumbled on a flat surface. No pain, just a strange loss of control. Her daughter noticed she seemed off, her stance slightly tilted, her gait unsteady. They thought it was a vitamin deficiency, until she collapsed the next morning with a full stroke. The fall was her first warning. Here's how to test yourself. Try the 5-second balance check. Stand up straight with your feet together. Close your eyes, now lift one foot slightly off the ground and count to 5. If you sway or need to catch yourself, and especially if this is new, don't. Ignore it. And one more tip. If balance issues happen alongside blurred vision, dizziness or fatigue, seek medical help immediately, because stroke symptoms often come in pairs. And your balance could be the clue you need to catch it early. Now, on to sign number 3, one that literally affects the way you see the world. Hidden stroke sign number 3, vision changes. Our eyes are powerful, but did you know they can also be your early warning system for stroke? One of the most overlooked symptoms in seniors is sudden vision changes. This could be blurred vision. Seeing double dot loss of vision in one eye, or even missing part of your visual field, like not seeing the left or right side of a room. Let's meet Mr. Tom, 70. He was painting in his garage when he realized he couldn't see the left side of the canvas, not because it was dark, but because it simply disappeared from view. No pain, no dizziness, just a strange gap. His stroke had affected the occipital lobe, the part of the brain responsible for vision. Had he ignored it, he may have lost much more than just sight. Here's a simple test. Try the clock drawing test. Take a blank sheet of paper. Draw a clock face, meet with all the numbers, then set the time to 10:10. If you miss part of the clock, or all your numbers are squished to one side, it's a red flag. And remember, stroke-related vision loss often comes on suddenly. It may only affect one eye, and it may come and go in less than an hour, a TIA. Don't chalk it up to eye strain. Don't blame cataracts unless you've had a full eye exam, because if your vision changes out of nowhere, it could be your brain, not your eyes, that needs help. Coming up next, Let's talk about what happens when your body feels numb, but only on one side. Hidden stroke sign number 4, numbness on one side. Picture this. You reach for your tea mug, but your fingers feel numb. Your arm feels weak, or one side of your face feels like it's not quite awake. These are classic signs of stroke, and yet they're easy to miss, especially when they pass quickly. One-sided numbness is a sign that one half of your brain isn't getting the blood it needs. Since the left brain controls the right side of the body, and vice versa, if one hemisphere is affected, symptoms often show up on the opposite side. Mrs. Elena, age 79, told us she couldn't grip her toothbrush one morning. She thought she'd slept funny. Later that day, her right foot dragged slightly when she walked. It wasn't until she slurred a few words that her daughter called 911. She had suffered a moderate stroke. Here's what to watch for. Numbness or tingling in your hand, leg, or foot on one side. Weakness in your face, especially if your smile is uneven. Difficulty holding objects or feeling pressure in one hand. If these symptoms come and go, don't wait. They may be mini strokes, and they are warning signs that a major stroke could happen within 48 hours. Remember the FAST method. Face. Ask them to smile. Is one side drooping? Arms. Ask them to raise both arms. Does one drift downward? Speech. Ask them to repeat a simple sentence. Is it slurred? Time. If you see any of these signs, call emergency services immediately. Time is brain. Every minute you wait, 1.9 million brain cells die. That's why knowing this sign and acting fast can save your independence. Let's move to one final sign, and it's one we often ignore in conversation. Hidden stroke sign number 5, confusion or trouble understanding. Have you ever found yourself in mid-conversation and the words just won't come? Or have you listened to someone talk and realized you suddenly can't follow what they're saying? This isn't just forgetfulness. This could be aphasia, a condition caused by stroke that affects your ability to speak, understand, read, or write. Mrs. Denise, 66, was a retired English teacher. One day she found herself mixing up words like refrigerator and television. She thought she was just tired, but when she called her sister and couldn't finish her sentence, her family knew something was wrong. Aphasia is a red flag. It can present as trouble speaking or finding the right word, difficulty understanding what others are saying, mixing up or jumbling words, or speaking in complete nonsense. This symptom is often the hardest for seniors to admit because it's embarrassing. They feel like they're slipping, but the reality is it's not a character flaw and it's a medical emergency. If you notice this in yourself or someone else, don't wait. And if it happens with other symptoms, weakness, vision, changes, numbness, call for help right away. Because the brain doesn't just move your limbs, it holds your voice, your memories, your connections, and it deserves protection. Let's review everything we've covered. Let's take a moment to breathe. What we just covered could save a life, but maybe even your own. It's easy to think, that couldn't happen to me. I feel fine. I'm careful. But strokes don't always strike like thunder. Sometimes they whisper. So here are the 5 hidden stroke signs to always keep in mind. Sudden, unusual headache, a pain that's different from anything you felt before. Loss of balance or coordination, stumbling, unsteady steps, or sudden dizziness with no clear cause. Vision changes, blurred sight, loss of vision. In one eye or trouble seeing on one side. Numbness or weakness on one side, even if it fades quickly or seems minor. Confusion or trouble. Speaking, understanding. Words feel stuck, jumbled, or just don't make sense. If you notice any of these, especially if they're sudden, don't brush them off. It's not just age. It's not always stress, and it's never something to ignore. Strokes are treatable, but only if you act quickly. Every minute lost can mean months of recovery or a lifetime of change. Lifestyle tips to lower your stroke risk. After 60. Now let's talk about the part that's truly in your hands. How to stack the odds in your favor every single day. Did you know that up to 80% of strokes are preventable? It's true, the brain is resilient and so are you. Here are science-backed practical lifestyle shifts for seniors that can dramatically lower stroke risk without turning your life upside down. Move your body, gently but regularly. You don't have to run marathons. A daily 30-minute walk, gentle stretching, or simple chair exercises help keep blood vessels flexible and healthy. Dancing in your living room, that counts. Even gardening or slow laps around your home can keep your heart strong and your mind sharp. Watch your blood pressure. High blood pressure is the #1 cause of stroke. Get it checked at home or the pharmacy and write down your numbers. Small steps like less salt, more leafy greens, and regular movement make a big difference. Eat real food, colorful food. Fill half your plate with veggies and fruits of all colors. Berries, leafy greens, tomatoes, carrots. Each gives your body nutrients that protect blood vessels and help your brain stay young. Choose whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats, like olive oil or avocados. Limit salty snacks, sugary drinks, and heavy fried foods. Keep diabetes and cholesterol in check. Follow your doctor's plan. If you're prescribed medication, take it as directed. Simple habits like choosing water over soda, staying active, and avoiding processed sweets go a long way. Don't smoke and limit alcohol. Tobacco is brutal on your blood vessels. Quitting at any age helps. And if you drink, stick to light, occasional sipping. Your brain and heart will thank you. Get quality sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours each night. Untreated sleep apnea, insomnia, or frequent waking can all raise your risk. Talk to your doctor. If you snore loudly or wake up feeling tired. Manage stress. Chronic stress harms blood vessels. Find moments to relax. Deep breathing, meditation, prayer, or simply listening to music. Stay connected with friends and family. Isolation is tough on the brain. Stay engaged and curious. Challenge your mind with books, puzzles, learning a new skill, or volunteering. A stimulated brain is a healthy brain, and social connections are powerful medicine. Real stories, real results. Listen to stories like Mrs. Kim, who started daily walking meetings with her neighbor at 70 and saw her blood pressure drop, or Mr. Tran, who joined a senior's Tai Chi class and noticed fewer dizzy spells and more energy. Remember, every small change adds up. There's no age limit on improvement. What if you've already had a stroke? Maybe you're watching this video after a stroke, or maybe you're a caregiver for someone in recovery. First, you're not alone. Second, there is hope. Stroke recovery is a journey, but it's one full of possibility. The brain is more adaptable than most people realize, even after 60, 70, or 80 years. Key tips for stroke recovery. Start rehab early. The sooner you begin physical, occupational, or speech therapy, the better the results. Set small, achievable goals. Celebrate each milestone, no matter how tiny. Standing unassisted, tying shoes, writing your name. Use both sides of your body. Even if one side is weak, try to include it in daily tasks. The brain rewires itself with use. Ask for help. Lean on friends, family, and your care team. You're building a new normal, and that takes support. Don't neglect your mind. Emotional healing is just as important. It's normal to feel frustration, sadness, or anger. Counseling, peer support groups, or talking to your doctor can help. Stay patient and kind to yourself. Progress isn't always a straight line. Some days are harder than others, but every day of effort matters. And to the caregivers watching, your love, patience, and encouragement are vital. Don't forget to take care of yourself too. Modern medicine gives us more options than ever. From clot-busting medications to cutting-edge rehabilitation, stroke care has come a long way. Stay up to date with your neurologist and ask about new therapies. Every story of recovery starts with belief and action. Now, before we end, I want to leave you with this. The most powerful thing you can do right now is share what you've learned. You never know whose life you might save. A neighbor, a sibling, your spouse, or a friend at the park. Just by sharing these 5 hidden signs, you'll comment. What tip surprised you? What's your experience with stroke signs or recovery? Like and subscribe. Every click helps us reach more seniors and families with life-saving info. Share this video on Facebook with your family, group at your senior club, or even in a private message to someone you love. And if you have questions or want a video on another topic, let us know below. This channel is your space, and your story can inspire thousands. Final words. Stroke is not the end. With knowledge, quick action, and a healthy lifestyle, you can protect your brain, extend your independence, and enjoy the years ahead with joy and purpose. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself and each other. Until next time, I'm Dr. High, wishing you strength, health, and hope.